So, what was on my mind today, or for the last 40 minutes or half an hour, I was thinking about jealousy and envy. And some of the experiences that I've had with people who were envious of me for whatever reason. For whatever superficial thing they thought that I was getting, that somehow they weren't, or that that in some way they equated me getting something with them not getting something. So, so jealousy, is often not so much like a genuine desire for, whatever the thing is that the other person has that you want. It's, jealousy is usually, it's actually quite the opposite of desire. It's almost like, it's like when somebody else has something and we feel like we deserve it, and that they don't deserve it. And so it's not really a desire for the thing. It's more like like a feeling of injustice somehow. But even beyond that, the feeling of injustice is like a complexity. It's like the sun is blinding me. The light is blinding me. I must be a heretic. Jealousy. Yeah, it's like this. So it's like a concocted. It's like sort of a complex emotion. It's like there's several layers to this cake. And on the surface of it, it's like somebody has something, we want the thing. We don't have the thing, so we feel jealous. And then beyond that, we think, well, they shouldn't have it. I am a better person than them, so I should have what they have. But then beyond that is the sense that they don't really want the thing itself. It's more that they don't want the other person to have this thing. And it's like when the other person has it, it's like an insult to their value system, like that somehow they have a problem with the thing that the other person has. And the more sort of relaxed and happy the person is, while they have this object or whatever, experience, relationship, money, property, whatever, spirituality. It's like, because they're sort of happy and relaxed with it, and the person who doesn't really feel comfortable with the thing in question, they feel sort of tense and uneasy with this thing. And somehow they feel like it's like, how can you be so happy and relaxed with this thing that you have that is like this major thing, if only I had this thing, then I would be so I would be able to, I would be like so overwhelmed, you know, by the thing. And so you can see like there's a certain tension in the person who feels jealousy, not just in relationship to the person who has the thing, but you know, to the thing itself. Like they're tense about that thing, and it's like they've equated this personality, external personality, to the thing that they sort of feel divided about, you know, having. And so jealousy is almost like hatred for, you know, the thing, the object of desire, or the, you know, the thing that is supposedly desired by the person. It's almost like they have such a hatred for it that they want harm to come to people who have the thing that they don't feel comfortable with having themselves. And it's like they don't really want the thing, they just want it out of their fucking face that somebody else has it, and that they don't, because they don't fucking want the thing. They want to get away from that thing, and as long as you exist, you remind them of how they don't fucking have it and they can't let themselves have it, so you are the fucking problem. So like, it makes them furious, you know, it makes them furious and angry that there has to be these people in this world and they're happy and relaxed with things that I will not let myself have. You know, I feel guilt and shame. It's good. It's fucking good to feel guilt and shame. I should feel guilty and ashamed if I was ever close in proximity to that. And this person looks happy and relaxed. How can they be happy and relaxed with this thing that I will not let myself have? You know, it's like...
Good acting.
Yeah. It's like... You know, so like... You know, I let myself express vividly, you know, with anger. And, you know, someone might... You know, be... Can you keep driving?
I've got.
Oh, okay.
I'm just parking the thing.
Okay, because I kind of like being in motion.
Okay, that's fine.
So, yeah, you know, it's like, for example, you know, like vivid expression. You know, someone might be like, "How dare he?" You know, like express himself vividly. You know, we must all maintain a fucking tight, you know, affect and not let our emotions come to the surface. It's been my life's work to fucking hide my feelings. How dare he express himself in ways that I don't allow myself. My whole belief system has been built on not expressing myself and constricting myself and making myself small, and I have all these strategies to get all these things that I want, because you gotta work hard and suffer for what you want in this life, don't you? And you gotta turn into a goddamn munchkin voice person so that you can appear servile and non-threatening to the fucking evil people of this world that I have to interact with to get the things that I want, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. Why is that person so happy and relaxed and have everything that I want, but I don't fucking get it? So... Yeah, so jealousy...
I remember people that felt that way about you.
Yeah. So I don't know, like I came out of the box. Very out of the box. You know, I've always been very fluid in my expression. When I, you know, particularly before the advent of my father, who was kind of jealous of me in a lot of ways, so he just, you know, submerged, you know, just like, yeah, basically any, like, a lot of the inhibitions that I've learned because of, you know, out of fear of my father during my, you know, adolescence when I had to go live with him. And so, you know, it's like his jealousy and hatred of me and my naturalness was, something, yeah, I mean, it was like, I guess in a lot of ways it taught me a lot about humanity and, to sort of overcome this stilted existence that I had to learn how to live with. To go into hell and then come back out of hell. Sort of, it teaches you how to manage some really like powerful constricting tectonic forces inside of ourselves. And then when we like go back into heaven, so to speak, we sort of take the lessons that we've learned from when we went deep into hell, and in some way it like we gain a greater appreciation, a greater celebration for life, and a greater sense of letting go of all resentment for sort of the people who've been captured under the unfortunate illusion of their own egos and their own this voice inside their head that says that they have to be small, make themselves small, and then the world will reward them. And so much of this world and so many of the people of this world believe in making themselves into small beings that are non-offensive on the surface, and so that they can like quietly work their little strategies that they all feel guilty and ashamed for, so that they can have some form of existence in life. And so the more you recognize this, not so much as who they are, but like a pattern, an algorithm that has captured the minds of mankind, then you see the being that is sort of having to share a body with this fucked up prison that people have find themselves in, and all you see is their suffering. You don't hear, you can't take anything serious anymore from people who have imprisoned themselves, made themselves a slave to jealousy, greed, lust, hatred, anger, anger, and all of these things, these are all like the negative manifestations of things that are fundamentally like part of God as well. But there's like divine anger that is like righteous anger, and then there's like constricted anger that is like bitter hatred anger. There's like lust is like where you don't really desire the being that you in question that you want to have sex with, but you're like want something superficial about them, and it's not like about love. So like making love, for example, is another way in which people get very confused, who don't have a good relationship with themselves, a good relationship with the spirit. And so they feel ashamed whenever they go into the bedroom. They bring their shame into the bedroom, and then it sort of turns into lust, because like that's the only way that they can really express their sexuality. And you can't really compartmentalize your sexuality, but because that's it's part of, it's in everything that we do. It's the creative drive. It's the spirit is what we feel when we have a good orgasm, a good release. So anyhow, so like much of the minds of human beings is their ego has been capsized. Their ego has capsized the better part of them, because the ego is sort of like a basket that we try to keep filling And eventually, the ego does get full, and then it falls over dead. Because, what is it when the body passes? The only thing that really dies is the ego that has been filled to the brim with, false beliefs. And so, I was earlier today. I was looking at the body of somebody who had recently passed that I love, and I just saw like how that body is not who she was. That body is merely like man is created in the image of his creator. And so it's sort of like we're all kind of like spirits and our body is like, bodies are made in the image of our spirit. And you can kind of like see the level of evolution within the person's body kind of reflects their spirit. And so you can see like things that the spirit is working out or being worked out in the body, And so we love the body because the body is like a good friend to the spirit. It's very yielding. It's essentially, it's like the orifice for the spirit. It kind of does what we want. We live inside of it. We inhabit it. It lovingly does the things that we want to do, takes us into the places we want to go, gives us the experiences that we want to experience. It brings us, it creates like a distance between us and God so that we can know God, so that in some way we can like see what God looks like when we're not so close to God. And so what we do here on earth is like we're like discovering what it feels like to be a witness to God. And a lot of the suffering we experience, we learn how to accept what God has to accept in order to be an omnipotent, eternal being. And so a lot of the things that look like suffering and evil and pain, these are all things that are like small snapshots of a bigger picture that are sort of necessary, for the entirety of existence to function. Because you can't like remove the bad things that you don't like about life and existence, because they all serve the same functions that the greater good serves. And because all things are sort of connected, trying to like remove one part of it, you can't fully really remove it. So all you end up doing is creating a greater hell by trying to illegalize hell. You create hell essentially, because the more you fight against hell, the more you create a war, the more you can create confusion in the ego, the more you create separateness, the more you create duality. And then all you end up seeing everywhere you look, all of a sudden, now everywhere is hell. Everything is hell, because you're like on a holy crusade to fight against hell, to get rid of hell, to get rid of all the evil fucking people. Wouldn't the world be a better place? We just got rid of the bad people. But then that's all what you end up seeing in the world. And then when you look in the mirror, you see an evil fucking person, because you realize that by paying so much attention to the evil of the world, that's what you've practiced in your mind, so that's what you see now. You're not focused on the good. You're not focused on your desire. You're focused on what you don't want, By focusing on what you don't want and you hate, that's sort of like what you put your attention on, and that creates that sort of in your environment, in your perception. And that's why it's important that we don't interfere with other people's choices. Their free will, that's their business. Whatever part of the journey they're on, that's what they need to be studying so that they can become closer to God. Because that's, sometimes the hard lessons, those are the things that we need to learn, because that's sort of where the gold is that we need to find. And, by interfering with other people's choices, you just make them cling harder onto the thing. This is my thing. You can't have it. It's mine. Get away from my thing. So by trying to interfere with other people's choices and seeing that something bad is happening, you're just perpetuating, karma. You're perpetuating a war, getting involved with other people's wars, and not really paying attention to what you need to be paying attention to, which is what is it that you desire? Why is it that you feel conflicted about the things that you desire? And how can you find greater peace? Because essentially all desires are sort of there to remind us that we don't need them. We don't need anything to find peace, but we sort of need to fulfill desires in order so that we can know that, okay, I'm still me. I'm still me. I have this thing now, but I'm still me. Fundamentally, the only thing has changed, that now I see that the true source of my beauty, magnificence, it doesn't come from this fucking situation, this relationship, this thing, this wealth, this abundance, this property, these people, this station in the status hierarchy, that my true enjoyment and magnificence, that is without question always available to me when I allow it to be there. When I allow myself to appreciate the gift of life and to see myself as whole, But, it's not like we force ourselves, okay, now I am totally whole and I have seen everything. No, like the whole point is desire teaches us, by having the courage to fulfill our desires, that's where we find our wholeness, because it's like within that feeling, it's like the hero's journey is like the call to desire, and we find we go along this path and the journey, and the byproduct is fulfillment. The byproduct is actually the fulfillment of our desire, but the actual reward is that we learn how to achieve fulfillment through the journey, and then our body knows how to fulfill itself without requiring external validation. So, all desires is like, it's like bait for us in this mortal shape to learn how to be, spirits of abundance, to recognize our own abundance, our own beauty, our own magnificence, our own divine authority. When we learn to speak from the divine authority within ourselves and learn to listen and to be a servant to that, true self, that true calling within ourselves, and begin to function not from need, but from recognizing the needs of the moment. The needs, when we're no longer tethered by this idea that we need this and this and this and this, then we can really begin to function as godly beings, because we're not functioning from lack and fear. We're functioning from true desire, true passion, true love, because we realize, nothing can be taken from me, so I don't have to worry about doing the wrong thing. I can only do the right thing by listening to that primal, fundamental self that is, been obscured by the wrong lessons that we learn throughout life. I think the Tao Te Ching says, like a student learns a lesson every day, a master unlearns a lesson every day. So, that's one way of saying, the things that we need to unlearn are the false ideals of the worry and the fear of loss and the scarcity mentality, of these authorities that come to us and they try to get us to resonate with their worry and bully us into making a decision like a salesman would, like an eager salesman would at a used car lot, oh, you need to buy this thing now, if you don't buy it now, someone else is going to be taken away, the opportunity won't last long, you gotta buy now, you gotta make a decision quick, otherwise, a decision like this, it's a once in a lifetime decision. Decisions like this don't come, opportunities like this don't come along every day, once it's lost forever, and it's like, yeah, and then you come to a certain realization, like, yeah, okay, but I don't fucking want that car. I don't want it today, I don't want it tomorrow. Sure, maybe there's some truth to, like, I won't have that car, but fuck it, maybe I'll get a better car. Maybe I don't want a car tomorrow. Maybe I don't need one. I don't know. It's like, why is it up to someone else to say what is important for us? And why do I need to live in fear that, I'm missing out somehow? There's nothing, because, like, at the end of the day, I'm just, like, what is this experience on this planet? It's here. It's what the things that I want out of this life is to learn how to be a better spirit, how to be a freer spirit, how to feel less pain and shame and guilt. That's what I value, on this earth. That's the true gift, And so any opportunity that comes along and, it doesn't feel right, and then I think back and it's like, oh, fuck, like, I really wish I had gone for that thing. But then when I realize, hey, I'm still me, with or without, I'm still me, I'm still here. I'm the one that I have to live with. I don't need to live with all these other things, and anyone that I love in this world, they're already here with me, Enlightenment is not about becoming like this lonely, omnipotent being, like, I think a lot of people have this fear that enlightenment means, oh shit, now I'm going to be lonely, because if there's only one God and one God consciousness, that doesn't that mean that I'm going to be like so alone? No, what it means is that you'll be together with everyone that you love. You'll be the least alone that you've ever been, because you'll be in heaven, in the most heavenly family. You will be surrounded by true love, real love that sees you as you are and isn't jealous for anything that you have. It just loves you as you. And in that, there's a oneness in that, yes. But it's not like we're alone. We're together. We're together in our recognition that we are a family. We are love. Together we are love. Together we are abundance. Together we are a gift. And there's nothing more than the joy of giving. You know, that's learning how to give fully from an open heart. That is the greatest feeling that I've experienced on this earth. You know, it's like we try to like constrict ourselves and hold everything tightly in our basket because we're afraid of people taking our things. But when we really just learn to be with the people that are in our environment, and we share what it is possible for them to receive, you know, that's a good feeling. And then the more we look for that, the more we find people that are open to receiving. Because when we're looking to give, you know, we're practicing our ability to sense who is willing to receive. And the people who are willing to receive, they don't have the jealousy. They don't have the fear of loss, because they are happy about abundance. They're happy about you. They're happy to see you as you. They're happy to be with you. They're happy to share their life with you. You know, and so that's, you know, something that we learn when we are with people and we're coming from a spirit of giving. Then we learn to find the other angels on this planet that want to be given to and people who don't have a problem with receiving, don't have a problem with giving what it is that they want to give, because it's a joy for them to give to you as well. And so you find there's a oneness in this recognition of the prosperity that is possible with people who have open hearts. So that's what my eyes are always sort of scanning for whenever I'm interacting with anyone, is, you know, how much am I able to give them comfortably, you know, because I don't stand in the way of their choice to not receive. So, you know, when people, you know, are afraid of me and they feel like there's some, you know, like I can feel the tension in my chest, like constricting.